Hey, kinfolk, welcome back to Keeping It Neat, live edition from the Mary Celeste. I am Derek, Executive Bourbon Steward.
I am Becca, the Bourbon Babe, also an Executive Bourbon Steward.
Yes, she is. 98%.
98%.
Sure. Yeah.
And I'm Nick, the certified bartender.
There you go. That's all Nick has. That's all we can. We can't come up
That's
with a
all
better
I
line
need.
for him. Maybe today we can come up with a better,
One day.
something catchier for you.
Yeah.
I hope.
I can give you
Maybe.
96%.
I don't even deserve a percent.
Well, we are live today at the beautiful Mary Celeste. We are doing a live blind tasting here for the inaugural South Coast Whiskey Society event. Mm-hmm. What else you got? That's it. That's all I have.
Whiskey?
Whiskey we do. We have our blinds in front of us. I'm going to show you our fan cam right now because actually people did show up to see us, amazingly. So here they are. They're out there. Wave, everybody. You are live on YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram. So we've got, a good crowd here. They're all going to be doing this blind with us.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So we don't know what we're drinking. This is
None of
all
us.
set up by Mr. Mike Achilles, the owner of the Mary Celeste. So
I don't even know what we're doing.
No, I know, and the Bourbon Babe usually sets
Usually
these
she
up for
knows.
us.
So this is the
She-
first time I'm actually doing it blind as well.
Yes.
So I'm with all of you.
Yes,
Yeah.
so this is her first blind. So, she usually sets them up for us, but today she is sitting along with us and going to sip along.
Yeah.
So everyone has their blinds in front of them, so we're going to base this on, as we do it, we're going to walk you through it if there are people that haven't really done whiskey before. So kind of a whiskey 101 as we go along, but the more savvy people that know what you're doing, we're going to get on the nose, talk about some of the different notes that we're getting on the nose and on the palate, and work our way through, and we'll ask you for, what you may be getting on it. And here's the beautiful thing about whiskey. Whatever you get on your nose and your palate, you're not wrong. Because it's based on past experiences and things that you may have tried or tasted before in your life that I haven't. So you may get that out of it, and I can't get it because I have no experience with it, so I don't know what that flavor or that nosing might be. So you're not wrong, so don't be afraid. That's all I get to say about that.
Yeah.
Bourbon
We'll only
Babe?
make fun of you a little.
Yeah, just a little bit.
Actually, Mike is going to make fun of you. If you say it's a chocolate Pop-Tart that you're smelling or tasting, which
Yes,
I
that's
have gotten,
what the
Mike is
Bourbon
not going to
Babe-
let you live it down.
The Bourbon Babe
So-
comes up with some unique stuff.
She comes
so.
up with the wild, it's like banana Laffy Taffy, cotton candy, all
I had a good
those.
childhood. What can I say?
Yeah.
Dill pickles.
Dill pickles, yeah.
Dill pickles. So what we're going to do is we'll get started. So everybody, if you want, grab your glass, take a little nosing.
So fun thing
how
about
about
the
a cheers?
nose.
Oh, you want to do a cheers first?
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
that's right.
Yeah.
We're going to do that, right?
Way to go, man.
Is everybody ready to whiskey? Yeah. Woo! Ready, Nate?
Ready and able.
Let's do it. So the fun thing about, this is one of the things I love to share, is you have a dominant nostril. So when you actually do it, it can change. So it's actually on our show, it changed for me too. And I thought this was a joke until it actually happened and blew my mind. So it's either the left or the right nostril, but we've been in the middle of a show before where all of a sudden one will almost kind of fade away more than the other side, and it just blew my mind when I first found that out.
Yeah, it's a weird thing, if you've ever seen even wine connoisseurs, the sommeliers, they do it where they roll it back and forth. The reason why they're doing that is because they have the dominant nostril, right or left, changes every 3 hours, and it could happen in the middle of one of your shows or right when you're trying to get the whatever you're getting out of the glass.
So right now, mine's the right nostril, but by the end of this, it might flip. I don't know. Depends on the time.
So if you haven't nosed whiskey before, what you should really do is keep your mouth open a little bit as you're breathing in through your nose. When you're doing that, it's helping to bring some of the flavor profile onto your palate, and it helps to enhance the nosing experience. So if you keep your mouth open just a slight bit as you breathe in,
Yeah, it brings it in over the olfactory, helps you out. You may get some flavors there too while you're actually sniffing it. It's a really nice nose, man. And a lot of times too, you go by the color. You can, I think that's this, but color can trick you up too. So
and sometimes it's hard outside with the breeze going
Yeah,
to
the
be able to
wind.
get it. So often you can cover up that glass and stop that breeze from coming. But this is a glass that's actually designed for nosing. So it's called a Glencairn, and it helps the aroma to go and the way it's shaped to help the aroma to go straight up to your nose as you're sniffing.
So I'm getting like a fruit note, some caramel going on in there. Probably vanilla because I'm always wrong. That's my 50-50. It's either caramel or vanilla, and I usually get it wrong 50% of the time. A corn. I'm getting like a corn note.
I am getting a corn, like a caramel corn.
Yeah.
I also like to swirl it around a little bit. It helps to bring those aromas up to the surface.
Anybody else? Anybody getting anything? Vanilla. Okay. She's probably right. I'm going with it. It's vanilla. It's changed for me. It's vanilla now. She's right. I'm wrong.
Yep.
Also, if you want to, you can put some notes down on the back of that
Piece of paper, writing it down if it helps you work your way through.
Sure.
Don't cheat. Don't flip
No
it over.
flipping.
On the other side is the answer that we need.
Thank you.
Derek, do you want yours?
I'm good right now. It's got a really nice nose, and there's a fruit note going on there which I can't discern. I don't know what it is.
To me, there's
Maybe like
also
an
a
apricot?
mustiness. You're getting like a musty kind of grape,
A musty funk.
like an old library.
old
Oh
library.
wait, a whiskey
A
library.
whiskey library.
He's got some books in there.
There is a book. He has a book in there. One or two.
So sometimes the nose can be a lot stronger and sometimes can be a lot softer depending too on what you're having. So sometimes you might get it and sometimes you might not.
Yep. A lot of times I have to, the nose is so hard. It's not until I get it on my palate that I can really, what I was smelling comes
Yeah.
through on the palate. You're tasting what you smelled. All right, which I am going to go in for a sip just so I know, because
So
I'm going to
explain
break it up.
Kentucky Hug.
All
The
right.
first sip of what you need
All
to
right,
do.
first sip when you go in, if you're not used to sipping or you haven't sipped whiskey before, it's like a 3-part process, really. The first one is to just basically shock and awe your taste buds, because if it's a high proof, that's exactly what's going to happen. So you're not going to get anything out of it, because all you're going to get is that alcohol flowing over your tongue. So you're going to get past that. So basically what you do is you take a sip, swish it around in your mouth for about 8 to 10 seconds, then take a swallow. Now when you go in for your second sip, it should be a little easier. The alcohol won't be as strong. If it is, you do basically the same thing, do another little swish. Then by your third time when you go in, you've shock and awed your taste buds enough that they don't even care anymore what's going on them. They can just pick out all the finer notes and they're past the alcohol. So first thing, just take a small sip, put it inside your mouth, swish it around for about 8 to 10 seconds.
Close your eyes.
Shock and awed, now going back in.
I'm getting like a cinnamon, a baking spice of
Yep.
some sort in there.
Hey, Bill Kitcher. Hey, Bill. How you doing, buddy?
What's up, Bill?
If someone's name is Bill here, I'm sorry right now. I'm just talking to someone that made a comment on Facebook.
I actually need to write down for this part.
I get a lot of corn.
I'm getting there's a tang, but I'm getting like a citrus note too. That's what I did a little
Citrus.
citrus in there.
There's also the power of suggestion. So he's going to say citrus, and now I'm going to go back in, and I'm going to taste, and I'm going to taste citrus.
So, like in our studio, and you can do this at your own house too. You can make your own like scent kits, and basically have in like little jars, tons of different options that basically will help you picture it in your head to say, am I getting what's in there? Is that what I'm getting? So like cherry cough drops, we'll put them in a little container. So if we're ever like, does this taste like a cherry? We can go open it up, smell it, and think about, are the flavor profiles kind of close? And there's a bunch of different ones. I mean, we had toffee, like little chunks of toffee, butterscotch candies that your grandfather would give you in his pocket.
Star anise,
Star
cinnamon
anise,
sticks.
cinnamon sticks.
We had peppercorns.
Yeah.
Yeah, so-
Yep. So. The little sucker.
So to mess around with everybody, what is anybody else getting out there? What kind of notes are we getting on the tongue, on the... Little chocolate in the back, okay. I'm still getting like
I can get
the
that,
chocolatey, but I'm also getting nuttiness. There's like a nuttiness in
It's
the back.
like it's similar to the toffee. It's
Yep.
like, yeah, it's like a nuttiness. Like
To me, it's plain popcorn.
Plain popcorn, no
Like,
butter,
not butter.
no salt.
No butteriness, no salt. Nope,
Alright.
just a plain, boring popcorn.
Okay, plain boring popcorn.
Not that this is boring, just popcorn.
The popcorn's boring.
I'm getting like
Yeah.
chocolate mousse. Actually, the more it sits
Okay.
on my palate.
Chocolate mousse.
Yeah.
Would you like maybe a
My
ganache?
man Jerry. Yeah, like a chocolate ganache.
If I just keep throwing stuff out, you're gonna just keep saying
maybe-
yes.
Yeah, like a chocolate bar.
It's a
chocolate
Hershey's.
fountain.
Ooh, with a strawberry, I'm sticking in there. Yeah.
About like a stone fruit, like peach or apricot, or
I said apricot.
He had said
said
apricot to
apricot?
start,
at
yeah.
the beginning. Yeah.
on the palate,
I
on the
can see-
nosing, or I'm getting like
And the thing is too is you can have multiple fruits in there. They can be you can be getting citrus rind, you can be getting a stone fruit like an apricot or a cherry in there, and distiller's notes, which we try to do, and we always try to give you a little bit of knowledge after the fact about the distillery, where it comes from, what's going on, and their actual notes, the distiller's master notes, what they say you should be getting out of there. But understand, I'm not a master distiller. None of us up here are. So, their palates are, I want to say, maybe a little more refined for that. But they're also, when they do a distilling and they do their blending, they're doing it for the masses. It's not just for them. They're saying, what would the average person like? It can't be too high in alcohol. It can't have too much of this. So when they're doing it all together, but they also go in there and they pull out the notes that they think they're getting, and they write it as that's what you should be seeing out of whatever they're in their bottle. Has anybody been to a distillery tours? Anybody here? No? It's
Yeah, somebody said yes.
somebody said yeah. Awesome.
The one in Plymouth. He said the one in Plymouth.
Oh, the one in Plymouth. Oh, okay.
Dirty water?
Dirty water. Dirty water distiller.
Oh, really?
Oh, nice.
Well, then that's convenient.
Yes, that is. That's very convenient. We actually just came back from Baltimore. We went to the Sagamore Rye Distillery in Baltimore, which was
That was a great tour.
it was a great tour. Things that we find, we've done a lot of distillery tours. Pretty much the process is the same no matter where you go. It's just the show that they give you when you go to them. Some of them are better than others. But the mash, to do everything, all the distillation, it's all the same process. But I just love going to distilleries. I just do. Yes.
Oh.
Oh, okay.
We just recently learned that they toasted.
Yes, they did.
Oh, I love toasted.
Toasted barrels.
Love toasted barrels.
So
I
we
get a
kind
little
of
banana on the back.
banana in the back.
I
All right.
always get banana.
So we have some whiskeys left
get
in
on
our
the
glasses
nose.
right here. So
Yeah,
what we'll
banana
do
on the
now
nose.
is what we usually do is we add the H2O. A couple of drops is all you need. Put inside the glass to bring down the proof that's in there. And when you bring the proof down, what that will
I'm
a
just
lot of
gonna
times
use
do
yours
it obviously
first,
it brings down the alcohol content, but it also opens up. So you'll get maybe some other flavors or something on the nose will come out more prominent that you didn't pick out before, or you didn't know what it was. It may come through then. So
And take a look. So you see
yeah,
how
this
much
is
I
pretty
have
much the way it
left
goes all the time.
and how much
Wait,
Nick has
I
left.
still have more than Nick.
So obviously, I'm going to put
Nick
a little
needs
more
like a drop.
water in. Nick is going to put like a drop.
Yeah.
So judge how much water you'd like to put in by how much you already consumed.
You know.
There it
Gross.
is. That was Mike right there.
Thank
That's
you. He
sweetheart.
gets me. I was just about
Yeah,
to
that's
say
all
it.
you need in that one, buddy. Yeah, that's your break it down.
I have something to go back to.
Did you put any in? 1, 2, 3, 4. There.
That's good.
Yeah, you had a little more than us, so.
Yeah.
So the water, obviously kills the proof a little bit, but then it does really help most of the time with helping different notes come out you might not have gotten the first time.
If you're familiar with or not familiar, I guess, with the bottling process for whiskey, what they do is they take the barrels and they dump it, and then they taste it and they decide what proof they would like it at. The only thing that they add to like a bourbon, for instance, is water just to bring the proof down. So what you've just done is added a little bit of water and it's brought the proof down, same as they would do in a distillery with the master distiller.
Yeah, and I know I learned this somewhere. It may have been when I did my whiskey ambassador course. There's like an ideal percentage of that for getting the most out of it. And I want to say I think it's like 35% alcohol is the ideal percentage when you're putting the water in there. To get the most out of it, you'll get the most on the palate and the most out of the nose. Why they did, I don't know. That's has a lot to do with scotches, so maybe that's on that end of it. Because right now, if you've noticed, if you're into the whiskey world, there are so many cask strength bourbons, Irish whiskeys, scotches that are coming out right now. That's the hot trend right now, is to put out right from the barrel, this is what it is, and it's coming out to you. Dial it down to where you want it, basically. Ooh, that's got like a sweet apple note now.
Applewood?
Apple note.
Oh.
Not apple wood. I'm not that specific.
I thought you were. I was going to be impressed.
So when we do it, it's usually vanilla and caramel, and that's an ongoing joke.
That's
it's,
our
it's just
it's
every time. It's a roll of the dice. You
Yeah.
know?
They
Like,
can't tell the difference between vanilla and caramel, no matter how much I put it in the scent
Sometimes,
kit.
we
No, they
sometimes
can't.
we'll get it once in a blue moon. I'll say once in maybe every 15 to 20. We nail a vanilla and we nail a
And it's a
caramel,
cheer.
and then we'll watch the notes. We'll say it's caramel, and then it's like it's vanilla. But then once in a blue moon, the heavens shine on us, and the distiller decide to put in their notes vanilla and caramel.
Yeah.
So we're never wrong. I like it that way better.
those are the best.
Usually he'll say vanilla, he'll say caramel,
Caramel.
so that way they get it right every time.
That's it. We're 50-50. It's 100%. We're gonna get someone guessed it.
But it is one of the most dominant scents. The vanilla and caramel is very dominant, not in all whiskeys. Dominant in more bourbon than
Yeah.
it is in. You're not really going to get a vanilla or a caramel in a Scotch. So
You can. You get some
can,
honeys can come
but-
through. You still get peppers and that kind of stuff. And here's the thing: you can also get like a pepper if you taste like a spicy bite in the back of your tongue. That could be a peppery note that you're getting. So a lot of it could be a black pepper, a white pepper. They don't put pepper or anything like that in there. That's actually coming from the barrel itself. So that from the aging process and the char that they have inside there, it's pulling out all those different notes going on, mixing with that alcohol, and that you're going to get those sometimes crazy notes going on. So she likes the H2O. She just circled it, said that helped her out a lot.
I did. It takes away the sharpness, and it's more smooth, and I can taste more in the back of my palate now, like in the back of my tongue.
Okay. Just because it smoothed it out a little bit?
Yeah.
Do you have a guess on what you think the proofing is for this? Oh, okay. I think
You want to explain proof?
That's funny because we never write it that way. So it's funny you put it as a percent.
Oh, she
Oh,
put
yeah.
that. Oh,
Yeah,
we
yeah.
always do
We
the
usually do it.
Yeah.
we do the ABV usually.
That's true.
So proof, obviously it can come, you can get 100, 115, 120. So if it's 120 proof, you half that, you get 60% alcohol by volume. That's what's inside your glass. It's always divided in half. Why they did that,
That's
I
what,
don't know, but
46?
that's just the way it works. Alcohol by volume.
Yeah.
So I like to use round numbers because when I see all the crazy proofs of 115.3, now you got to break that down. I need my calculator. It doesn't work out well. So I'll just say it simply. So if it's 120 proof, which means it's coming out of the barrel at that, half that and half, 60% alcohol is what's going on. So your average wine is about like 13% alcohol. So
Where
that's
do we go?
so 60% is what you're getting out of, or 50% for the most part, usually with bourbons and a lot of your whiskeys. Sometimes 40% is your under the lowest end it can be to be legally be called a whiskey. You can't go any lower than 40%.
So if you're going to guess a proof, don't guess anything lower than 40%.
Yeah, because that's where you get to the flavored stuff that usually comes
usually
in like
like
35,
36.
70. Yeah, comes in a box. Yeah, sometimes only come in a box. Whatever it is, we've all been there. You've grabbed one of those little nips off the. Yeah, I'll take that.
All right, so now that you've added the water, go back and smell some more.
Yep.
See what you can get on the nosing, see what you can get on the palate if it's changed.
Okay.
I was getting a dark cherry earlier.
Yeah,
too.
black cherry, dark cherry. Sometimes that's very prominent. If we guess what we think it might be, that's a prominent note in it. Okay.
I wrote down honey.
Nick said
when
he
you
wrote
said
down honey, so everyone
When you
knows
said
Nick
honey.
said he wrote down honey. He made sure he whispered it to us right. I wrote down honey.
I did. It was.
I don't know if it was
swear.
after whoever just
It was
said that.
prior. It was prior before Jared. I swear on it. You suggested honey, and I thought about it. I was like, maybe a little bit.
So when we do our show, we do that. We usually flip over our cards after we have our guesses. If we liked it with the H2O, what we thought it might be, and then our alcohol percentage, what we thought was in there for the ABV on it. And then we do a grade. We grade it from 1 to 5, 5 being the best, 1 being, not worth it. And sometimes, Nick's tough. I'll
Very
tell you that
tough.
right. Nick is tough on the old grading scale.
Yeah.
When the very first episode we did, when, I was so excited, we got this thing, we're rolling. I was like, it's a 5! It's a 5! He's like, dude, that's like a 1.5. I'm like, how do you come in so low?
Yeah.
And it really is. Here's the whole thing. And I learned this a valuable lesson when I purchased a bottle of alcohol. Your experience can change
Oh, yeah.
your perception of what you're drinking at the time.
So right now you're going to give it all 5s because you're having a great time.
Great time. It's amazing. This could
Just
be,
saying.
this could be something Mike actually made up in his bathtub. We don't know. We're hoping
But
it actually
it's
came
a
in a
He just
bottle.
had coloring to it. Like,
He said he was here late. I don't know what was going on, but we're hoping for the best. But yeah, perception can change your how you're drinking. Having a good time with friends, everything. Wow, this is great. Then you go back to it another time, and you're like, wow, what the heck did I just buy? I just spent this much money on this bottle, and it's not as I remember it. But your palate changes daily too. It can change from what you might eat, your experience obviously, but throughout the day, what you've eaten and everything. So if you do try something once and you enjoyed it and you bought the bottle and you went back to it and you didn't like it that time, go back to it again at another time and see.
But this particular one he's talking about, we went back to it was still not good.
Yeah,
We were in Florida. We were sitting at the bar. We had
Yeah,
this
I bought
great
it.
food. There was live music. The palm trees are blowing in the breeze, and we had to go to every single liquor store to find this.
find it, yeah.
So we find it. We bring it back. We have to wrap it up in T-shirts in our suitcase and our luggage because you're not supposed to bring it back, and we can't let it break. And we get it back, and we're like, oh, we're gonna try this. We go and we pour ourselves some, and it was like, this is what we had.
Yeah.
It's not. The bottle is fabulous,
And
but
that's the whole thing. That is the major thing. The
I would
better
make it
looking the
into a
bottle,
vase.
the worse the whiskey is inside of it, or whatever's inside that bottle. Because they spent all their money on the design. That's
Yeah.
what it went into. It's to catch your eye, to draw you in, to get you to buy that bottle. That's a huge part of marketing.
It'll now be a
But
vase.
also, we went to a
So-
restaurant, had an amazing experience. There was live music, and we were just having a great time. So this is the best whiskey I've ever had. No, it was not.
No.
It was far from it, and and that bottle is still sitting down in my basement. Exactly. We've only gone back to it once. I think we did it on the show one time, and it was just terrible.
Yeah.
I
don't
can't
like
bring
it that
myself.
we will
to go
not
drink it.
name names though.
No, we don't name names.
But if
American
you pay us
Barrel.
a little bit afterwards, we might tell you what
or
it
you can
is.
just go watch the episode.
You can find it.
Yeah.
It rhymes with American Barrel. That's what it rhymes with.
Yeah, it's the best way you can give it.
So does everyone have a guess where they think this might be coming in for a whiskey? Are we dealing with a Scotch, an Irish, a bourbon? Do we think we know what realm we're in with this? All right, we got back there. We got Jerry. Jerry's in. Jerry's
bourbon.
dialed in.
Yeah.
He's gonna get
So we
the
got bourbon up here. Jerry said bourbon. Bourbon.
and now we got to go. Yep.
Okay, so
yeah,
for those
of course.
of
They all
you-
said bourbon. I'm in on bourbon.
All right, I'm writing it down now. We're all going with bourbon. I like it. I like this way better. No pressure on. Now the second thing we like to do is, again, alcohol. What is the ABV in this? Is it 40%, 45, 42? Is it higher? 43.
45.
45?
Around
40.
40.
She's saying so 80 proof.
And around the back. 44
All right.
to 46.
I said
You
46.
said 46 here.
Now, 47. I like it. Going higher. I like it.
Going
The
once,
other-
the lady in the glasses.
Yeah,
Going once, going
that's
once.
right. I can't wait to see what it is. And the last one is it's a personal preference. H2O or H2No. Did H2O help it for you or not? And that determines it in the future if you'd like to try it that way. And just write that down there too. You liked it with H2O, you put H2O. If you didn't, H2No.
Did you try it with the water?
So
I
there are
could
a
tell you were
couple
so quick to answer. I was like, oh, okay.
There are a couple of different ways that you can order whiskey if you're brand new to it. So you can order it neat. This is how we first got it when we had our first pour. It was neat, and nothing added to it. You can get it on the rocks, and so you get it usually with an ice cube. A lot of I don't know if you do, Mike. I'm going to put you on the spot, but because I haven't had it on the rocks here, but a lot of whiskey places will do a big fat ice cube, so that way it's slower to melt and
what
water
we
it
do.
down.
Square ones?
Yes, the big
Yeah.
square
or
or round.
sphere,
big,
yeah, one of the others. Yeah.
So usually it's one giant cube lately, and then you can have it with a splash of water, which
Which constitutes that. Or you
Kinda
need a
what
little
we
more.
did.
Yeah, you
right.
put the
You
drops
can
in
put
there.
your own in. Most good quality restaurants will give you something like this.
Yep.
If you're at a dive bar, they're gonna throw in a splash of water
Yeah,
for you.
they're just going to... There you go,
That's it.
enjoy.
That's
Right
it.
off the gun.
Yeah, exactly. You're
what's
going to
the
get
last
Some
one?
cranberry in there.
neat... I can't remember what they're on the rocks. On the rocks, so that's the ice.
Yeah. What's the one where you just
Straight up.
shake it? Oh, straight up. Thank you.
Straight up.
I should have asked you, the
Yeah,
bartender.
the bartender. There you go.
So and then straight up, so you can shake it with ice and chill it, and then pour it into the glass, and so then it's just chilled. So those are the different ways. We like to experiment with the water, so that way it's really kind of the rocks or
Yeah, you're getting that little watered down factor, and that's to open up the palate and the nose, really. So are we ready to reveal what we think it might be there, kids? If we got our guesses written down. Everyone on your paper.
Everybody have a guess?
Everyone has their guesses written down on their paper, what they think it is. This keeps it all honest, so no one can say, "Oh, that's what I thought."
I should probably write.
We're gonna go around and check later.
Yeah, we're gonna do notes. Oh, see, these guys are writing down. Oh, they're gonna check. I gotta write this down.
Well, if they're really new to it, they're not going to know the difference between a bourbon, a Scotch, and
Well,
Irish.
yeah, that's true. They won't. But all right. So you want to do the reveal? Let's see what's on the
do
other
the
side of the card. Mike was kind enough to do these little
Mike,
sheets.
come over,
Come on,
actually.
come
Mike.
on over here, Mike. Come on in.
I like being behind this.
I know you do, but you know what? You're so handsome. We have to get you on TV.
Come on over. All right, Mike.
This is Mike Achilles, the owner of Mary Celeste. There you go. I mean, you know, it
Whoa,
was-
what an entrance.
yeah,
man.
I know.
didn't get that.
Yeah, we didn't get the rousing round of applause. But
All right,
you-
do you want to do the reveal?
Sure. So this is Kentucky's Angel's Envy.
Ooh. All right. Nice.
So this is
with the port finish.
With a port finish.
86.6 proof. So 43.3.
Nice.
percent.
Someone out there had a 43. Nice job. Very good.
Nice.
I had 44. It was written.
You rounded up.
I did.
Yeah, did. Yeah, that's all
Like
right.
a nice even number.
Very nice.
Nice. So it's a bourbon.
Yep. With a port finish. So it was finished in a port wine barrel for, I don't know how long they do it, a year and a half sometimes. It could be 6 months.
This one's 6 months.
6 months. So 6 months they finish it. So after it's done aging in the new oak charred barrels, they switch it over to a port wine cask and put it in there and let it age for another 6 months. Yes, sir.
So is that considered a double cask or double barrel? Or?
Secondary
It's
maturation.
secondary maturation, or they consider it's called finishing. So a lot of them will do a finish of some sorts.
Double cask is usually in the same, in an oak barrel.
An
same
oak barrel,
time.
yeah. If they do it, yeah.
Toasted.
When you see a double oaked, basically means it goes from the charred oak barrel to a toasted barrel, and they let it sit in there for a few months because when you toast a barrel, which just brings out a lot of the sugar notes, a lot of the sweetness comes out to the surface. You're not getting that hard char, and so they're just trying to draw those sweeter notes out of the wood for that last finishing purpose. And this, they're trying to get the actual that wine notes, those darker fruit tones. They're trying to draw. That's what they want in there. And we actually went to the distillery, to the Angel's Envy
We
down
did?
there, which is an amazing distillery.
I believe we tried the port right from
port
the right
ca-
from the barrel.
Yeah, we
right
did
from
in
the
their
cask.
in their room. That's right. Yes, we did. So this is the flavor profile on this is sweet and fruity, and Mike's out. Fruity and sweet. So you know, we did. I think everybody was kind of on that page. We're getting a lot of the sweet notes out of there. You know, we're saying a lot of those sweet things. Kentucky veteran and Bourbon Hall of Fame includes Lincoln Henderson is behind the port barrel finished bourbon. This Kentucky straight bourbon is aged on the top floors of the rick house before spending 6 months finishing in the port barrels. 8 to 10 barrels are used for each batch, and they pour them all out, blend them together, and then they do this and proof it down to where they like it. The appearance. Now appearance, it's everyone's color for what was it said? Brown? Was that it? Or gold or
Yellow.
yellow? This is
Yeah.
everyone has a different color. What they like to say what yellow is.
A synonym.
A synonym for yellow. So theirs is a golden color laced with reddish amber hues, nearly copper in tone. It's, if you want to call it a copperish or copper pennyish. On the nose, you'll detect notes of subtle vanilla.
All right, who got vanilla?
All right, nice. In the
Nice,
back,
there
I
was
know there's a
vanilla
vanilla
question in
back
the back.
there.
Good,
Nick had the
good.
vanilla, very nice. Vanilla raisins were in there,
That
and
was that
maple
musty
syrup
grape.
and
That's what
toasted
I said.
nuts.
The
So,
grape.
That musty grape.
yep. So raisins and toasted nuts were also in there.
You
so
had
if you got-
raisins?
no, all
Anybody?
right.
Anybody
maple
have
syrup.
a toasty nutty?
They had maple syrup.
Oh,
right
maple
there.
syrup.
Maple syrup, nice,
Nice.
nice. Now on the palate, so on the palate there was vanilla
nuts.
also. Vanilla on the palate, ripe fruit, maple syrup, toast, and bitter chocolate. Jerry Canelli in the back.
And a lot of people said fruit too.
Yeah, there was a lot of fruit.
was a
going
lot
on,
of
so
fruit.
that's
Yeah.
very good. That
Talking
ripe
about
fruit
cherry.
note in there, but you're getting that from
Vanilla.
that port finish.
Maple syrup was hard to get on this one.
Which is, I mean, when you get into those
For me.
finishes, a lot of those wine, they're addictive because you're getting that. You like those. You start getting those deep, dark fruit notes, and it's delicious. It really is. On the finish, it's clean and lingering sweetness with a hint of Madeira that slowly fades away. So they used evidently Madeira wine.
I love
Madeira
that
wine
they
barrels.
used the Madeira wine, and that's what he chose here for the Mary Celeste.
Yes, he
that
did.
was the Portuguese whaling ship.
Yes, it was. So that's the
So,
Madeira
bring
finish. You know that
Madeira. Did you do that on purpose?
fortified wines. Oh wow,
Oh, yeah, that wasn't.
it was
Said
amazing, Michael.
Yes, I
Brilliance.
did.
Pure brilliance.
Brilliance on another level there. So
We didn't actually talk about the finish. and how you can like feel it in the lingering. So, but all right, wow.
Oh, very good job,
All
everybody.
right, did anybody rate it? What were
Yeah,
your
what's
ratings?
your ratings?
Oh yeah. Usually it's sweeter. We said a lot of that corn smell. You can actually smell that corn a little bit. But usually it's sweeter. It's a little softer in the palate usually.
Well, I don't know if it's soft. It depends on what it is. Because, like, a lot, for me
Sometimes
now,
bourbon
Irishes
pack a
come
punch
off
today.
a lot of times for me. I get, like, a copper penny flavor from an Irish, which is from the stills that they use, the copper stillings that they use for that. So I get that. Scotches are kind of easy because a lot of times if they have that peatiness and smokiness going on, it's like, that's a Scotch. That's why I said, I can't wait for you to be here because if it's a Scotch, I'm going to know immediately because she hates Scotches. So she would have went, and I would have been Scotch, and I'm writing it down. But unfortunately, she didn't do that, so you kind of got to work through it, and it's really about experience. That's really the only way you can. The more you sip whiskeys, and you can pull out those finer tones, and it's really about training your palate. That's really it is. You know, Nick had talked about you can do it at home. You have like the imitation vanilla that you put in whatever it might be baking. Extract, sorry.
Not
No.
imitation.
Well, it's imitation extract, isn't it? No, it's
No,
not.
you're gonna do pure vanilla extract.
All right,
not imitation.
whatever. But you can go and sniff that, and that will if you're on that cusp of vanilla versus you're not sure, you can smell that, and that'll break that little boundary for you if you not know what you're getting. That's a good question. Yes,
Yeah,
that's what it
exactly. It's not drinking. It's called it's
Research.
research. You're researching for your palate. Research and development for your palate. That's what you're doing.
I can usually tell if it's an Irish by the color. I had given a little clue over there when they came out. I said it's not an Irish.
Yeah.
An Irish is usually very, very light in color, so I already had a preconceived notion going in that this was not going to be an Irish. Just from that, and when I taste an Irish, I always get that copper penny. Always. And don't ask me how I know what a copper penny tastes like, but you get it.
At
Y'all
some
know.
point in your lifehood, you have put a penny in your mouth. You know what a copper penny tastes like.
So
You
yeah.
may not remember it, you may not want to fess up to it, but you all did it. Everybody here has done it at least once. But yeah, so that's the breakdown. That's really our show. That's what we do, and embarrass ourselves quite regularly because we don't guess what it actually is. The Bourbon Babe tricks us up, Does everybody know what quantifies, what makes a bourbon bourbon? What has to go into there? Here we go.
At least 51% corn.
It has to be at least 51% corn. That has to be the dominant grain in the mash bill. And after that, it can have wheat in it, rye in it, and malted barley. The other two, the rye and the wheat, those bring two different kind of flavor profiles to a bourbon. But for the most part, you'll get the majority of time will be your corn, a rye with a malted barley in there. Now, the only other thing that they have to do is once it's finished being distilled, it has to go into a brand new charred white oak container. It has to do that. So it has to go right from under distilling into that brand new charred for aging purposes. Now, the thing is, once it goes in there, it's considered bourbon. It can age for 1 day, and it's considered bourbon. The only thing that they have to do is they have to put on the label that it was only in there for 1 day. So here's your Kentucky bourbon whiskey, 1 day old. It won't be
Put
good.
that on the label?
They have to.
Okay.
It has to be there.
Okay.
Just saying. You don't think so?
No, the age statement is only. You don't have to do that for an age statement for under it. Do you?
It's up to after 3, I thought.
No, that's for Kentucky straight bourbon.
Oh, that's for the Kentucky one.
Yeah,
I
to
know
be
you
called
had a
Kentucky
question
straight
back there.
bourbon, well, okay, a bourbon straight whiskey, Kentucky straight bourbon whiskey. To be called a straight bourbon whiskey, it has to be aged for at least 2 years in a new oak container. Depends wherever. To be called Kentucky straight bourbon whiskey, it has to be aged in Kentucky. Bourbon straight whiskey, that can be anywhere in the U.S., and bourbon is only made in the U.S. It's quantified by that. 1964, Congress passed a bill saying that is the American spirit, bourbon. So they actually passed a law on it saying and what you have to put into bourbon to quantify it as bourbon. So to be called a Kentucky straight bourbon whiskey or a straight bourbon whiskey, it has to be aged for at least 2 years in a new charred oak container. Anything less than 4 years, it has to say so on the label. Anything over 4 years, you're not going to see an age statement. So it will be at least 4 years old when you look at the straight bourbon whiskey. It'll be at least 4 years old if it doesn't tell you what it is.
So we often pair bourbons and whiskeys up. We do some weird whiskey pairings, but we also do some real whiskey pairings
Yeah.
on our show. So weird ones like they've made me eat a bug kebab once. But we also do other interesting ones. So those of you who are
We're interested in
eating,
the bugs.
no, some good ones, I should say.
all right,
Sorry.
all right,
So those
Explain
of you who are
yourself.
having something to eat, how does the bourbon pair with the?
What you're
I
eating.
see a lot of charcuterie boards. I saw some scallops earlier. How is it? Good. Yeah.
Enhances it. brings
Yep.
it out, changes it.
And
And it
that's
changes your palate too when you're drinking it. So you could go drink this another time and it could completely taste different because of it. You'll get different notes that come out and stuff like that too. So.
Right. I find a charcuterie board is one of the best things to pair with a bourbon, personally. I like the cheeses. I like the smoke. Usually there's like some kind of a smoky meat. So I think that those go very, very well. So, good
Yeah.
choice. If you got yourself a charcuterie board, good choice. I'm heading to get one myself.
Yes,
shortly.
that'll be our next stop. Will be a charcuterie board on the train here. But a lot of times when you go to the distilleries, they also have some type of pairing at the end when you're doing your flights or tastings. And it's usually a chocolate, sometimes nuts they'll have. But chocolate and whiskey, that is an amazing combination. If you have never tried it, definitely bring some dark chocolate, some milk chocolate, and do a pairing with your whiskeys when you do it, because that totally changes it up. We did it for one of our Bourbon 101 nights where we had it, and we had the caramel popcorn, the Cracker Jacks. Easy enough to find. Cracker Jacks and whiskey. You get that caramel and oh wow, it totally changes the experience that you're having with that whiskey at the time.
Orange chocolate.
Yeah.
We had like an
was so
orange chocolate with it. It
Oh,
was
the
the
lid,
greatest
yeah.
thing I've ever had. It was so good.
Yeah, you can get a lot of different ones.
Yeah,
You have
it
the
was
ones
so
that have
good.
the
Oh my
pepper in
gosh.
there, and
Yeah.
we've done some dark ones which weren't so good. The really dark cacao ones. So
Which brings up a good point though. Like, so we do this, but not blind every month. We do like sip-alongs through our channel, and what we do is we send out the samples to you. You can do this with us. You get 3 samples usually a month. Some months 4. It depends on if I buy the extra bottle.
yeah, if
but
Nick's feeling feisty,
He's
we've
very
done it before.
generous.
Yeah, it's like I'll like set up a competition, and then if we meet it, I'll buy it. But basically, we'll do a theme. So we've done an Irish theme in March. We've done a Scotch theme. I think we did the next month. And we do like the different areas, and we go over it and talk about it. People, you comment along online with us and talk about what are you getting and stuff, just like you did today with us, pretty much. We've actually blended our own whiskey as well.
Yes.
We actually just did a second blend the other day with Cleveland whiskey. If you haven't heard of it, check them out.
Actually, Mike has it here.
Mike has it here.
So
He's got 2 of them here, and there's they have a whole line, but the wheat penny is
Oh, the
really
wheat
good.
penny
and
is
that's-
delicious.
I saw that
And-
up on his wall, and the black cherry one's up there.
Oh, the black cherry's
We
good.
did
That's
a
good, yeah.
sugar maple with black cherry reserve, so that was pretty good, and black cherry, so
Yeah.
that was good. But basically, they do things a little different. But we sent that out to people so they could taste it with us and comment along as well. So we just did rye in July last week. So we sent out 3 ryes. Everyone got to comment along with us, and we've done one time we did it blind with everyone, where we sent out ABC on the labels. They come in little containers, and everyone got to try to figure it out with us, kind of like what you're doing today, which was a really fun time. That was a
Yeah.
good episode.
So we did it exactly like that, like we do
It'll
here.
be like
and-
8 o'clock on a Wednesday.
Yeah,
so.
we usually do it on Wednesday nights, 8 o'clock. We found that was a good hour for
Once
the
a
East
month.
Coast. Everyone's either put their kids to bed by then and they're ready, and we end the show early enough where you'll get to bed early and you can still wake up in the morning.
Yeah.
You know, it's
But we'll
usually,
do like raffle. We'll do like
yeah,
wheel,
sometimes
the
we
wheel
do
of
raffles
names
and whatnot. We do a wheel of names. You know, we give stuff
Might win a
away.
shirt.
Might win a shirt sometimes. It depends on how we're feeling on the night, and but we usually announce that beforehand. If we're going to have something like that going on, for it, so that you get in on it. And a lot of times, like when we do these on our Facebook page, we usually go live and we make the announcement of what we're doing for the next month. And we say how to get in on it. We just comment sample down below in the comments. And when you do that, I reach out to you through Facebook Messenger, and I need your address and an email so I can send you an invoice. And then you're in. So we usually it's about usually 25 people up. It depends on what our interest is in it.
Yeah.
That really, I think this is the least we've done it this month. The most people we've ever had is like 48 for one of our tastings that we've sent out for one of our sip-alongs. And that was actually the St. Patrick's Day one.
Day.
Everybody wanted,
that was
because
a huge
everybody
show.
it was a big night. It was COVID. Nobody could get out
Yeah.
anyway. So
We
what are
had
you gonna
live
do?
music,
Let's all
like,
drink.
it
We're
was-
sending
it was
you whiskey. You
awesome.
don't have to leave your house.
Yeah.
So that's basically what it was. But
good.
we had live music during the show. We had
was
a
huge.
really
That
nice
one,
musician.
not everyone.
Not everyone. No,
That
that's
one.
during that one. That was a special event. We had a live musician with us that night that played a couple of different sets for us. So that show went late. That was like 2.5 hours. That's how long a show we ever did.
Ever.
Average is about an hour and 20. an hour on for the most part when we
So
go.
our next one is August 25th, but that one's actually going to be a cocktail one. So we're
Yes.
doing all whiskey cocktails. So we're sending you out to everything you, well, not
Well,
everything.
not everything we
Almost.
can,
Not lemons and
almost.
limes.
As much
You
as
might
we
have
can.
to pick up your own lemons and limes. But as much as we possibly can send out to you, we are sending out to you to make some different cocktails.
Yeah, so it'll be, and we have a bourbon cocktail, we have a Irish
Irish.
whiskey cocktail,
And I'm making the Scotch one.
and Nick's working on a Scotch cocktail.
So I don't
And-
really like. I don't like the peaty scotches. I found I like these other sweet scotches that I've been finding. So I like some Caribbean reserves, stuff like that. So I'm making a fun one with the Caribbean Glenlivet Reserve. It's really good. So
So that'll be interesting. That'll
Yeah.
be nice. It'll be something different, and it shows you a couple of different things you can do with different whiskeys to make a different cocktail. You know, if you don't always feel like I don't feel like drinking it straight, I want a cocktail of some sort. Then we'll send out to you. We're going to be sending you out the jam that you need for it. I'm going to be sending you out the bitters, so you don't have to go out and buy a giant bitters bottle. I've got these great little bitters things that I'm going to be sending out, little droppers. So you'll get that. It'll be enough to make your cocktails. I'm not supplying your life supply of bitters for everybody. I'm just letting you know right
He's
now.
a good
That's not
guy, but I
happening.
mean-
I'm not that good.
Not that
But you'll have enough to be able to mix the drinks that night. You know, so we're going to send what we can. Anything perishable, you're gonna, we'll send a list with it that you'll have to go out and grab that you'll need for that night. Any juices or anything like that. And we'll go from
So
there.
we'll help
But-
you join us.
yeah, we do hope you'll join us. Join our Facebook group, Keeping It Neat. Sign up. Definitely sign up for the South Coast Whiskey Society, which was the inaugural event for this, and the Mary Celeste. You look at them up on Facebook too, so you can see if we come back here again and we do another great event like this.
yep.
So, did everybody enjoy what just happened?
You had a good time.
Thank you,
Thank you for
everybody.
joining us. Seriously.
We,
Thank you.
I'm glad, I hope some people may have learned a little bit of something. We learned a little bit of something, and that's something we take away from everything every time we do a show or we do anything, we like to learn. And we really appreciate what Mike did here for everybody, with this little, so thank you very
Thank
much,
you for
Mike.
supporting us, Mike.
Thank you. We've been going back and forth with Mike for a while now. He's wanted us to come down here and do so. It just hasn't been able to get our everything crossed here to get it. But tonight, finally, we were able to do it today, and we're very excited to do it. So.
Yeah.
All right, so we always do a toast closing out the show. So
So are you gonna tell them what it is because they might not know what the rest of it is. We can do it. It will sound
we're going
great.
to toast to you.
Yeah.
So we'll toast to you. Please toast with us. Ready?
Yeah. Well, they have to. Do they know the closing line?
Well, how
We'll
about
do it.
we'll do it to them.
And they'll cheers
Oh,
with
okay.
us.
And they'll
Okay,
just cheers
ready?
with us.
Yes.
All right.
All right.
Here's hoping everyone finds a little bit of luxury.
And not otherwise ordinary
Life.
Cheers.
Cheers, everyone. All right. Now we're wrapped. We're at the stream. I'm back in there.
So we'll
that-
be hanging out for a while. If you want to come, talk, chat, do
Buy a
another one with
t-shirt.
us. Buy a T-shirt.
We got
We've
t-shirts
got
back here.
cards,
We got some business
pics,
cards.
whatever you guys want to do. We'll be
So
here.
that's it, folks. So we're gonna wrap it up. That's our live from the Mary Celeste right now.
I
Definitely
hope
come
we're
on
staying
down
on
here.
though, right? It's all day, right?
Go till 4.
Till 4 o'clock.
Yeah.
Yep.
So yeah. So,
So
please
yeah.
don't go anywhere.
So
Hang
yeah,
out.
don't go any. Come on down. You get to see us. Maybe we'll go live again. Who knows? I got it all set up. I really don't feel like packing it up right now. So it took me long enough to set it up. Me and Mike were running around in his basement. It was crazy down there. I had to fight a rat. It was like this big.
No, you did not. No, you did not.
There were no rats.
There were none.
None.
There were none. I know. I like to.
Done. That's out on tape. It's not live. He's already shut down.